Most predators don't want to fight, they want a meal. And a meal that doesn't fight back is always preferable to one that does. The risk calculation for most large carnivores tilts strongly away from targeting something that might injure them during the attempt, because in the wild, an injury that prevents hunting is an injury that eventually causes starvation. Most predators are, in that sense, fundamentally conservative creatures. Then there's the crocodile. The Nile crocodile is not a new animal. Its basic design has remained largely unchanged for somewhere in the region of 200 million years, which means it was already an ancient, fully optimized predator before the first recognizably human ancestor ever walked across the African landscape. It did not evolve alongside humans the way wolves or big cats did. It was already finished evolving when humans arrived. And what it had finished evolving into was one of the most efficient, patient, and genuinely indiscriminate killing machines in the history of vertebrate life on Earth. The crocodile doesn't select prey based on size, strength, or perceived danger. It selects prey based on proximity to water. Anything that comes close enough to the waterline, wildebeest, buffalo, zebra, lions coming to drink, and for most of human evolutionary history, early humans doing exactly the same thing, enters the crocodile's operational zone and becomes a potential target on approximately equal footing with everything else. There is no negotiation. There is no threat assessment of the kind a lion or a leopard might perform before committing to an attack. The crocodile has one evaluation. Is this close enough to the water? If the answer is yes, the sequence begins. The attack itself is a product of 200 million years of refinement. A crocodile in ambush position is functionally invisible in the water. Eyes and nostrils at the surface, body completely submerged, generating almost no movement at all. The final lunge from that position to the waterline can cover several meters in under a second, faster than human reaction time under almost any circumstance. The bite force, measured in large Nile crocodile specimens, exceeds 5,000 pounds per square inch, the highest measured bite force of any living animal, and enough to close on bone, tissue, and muscle simultaneously and lock without any possibility of manual release by the prey. The death roll follows. Once the crocodile has secured a grip, it rotates its entire body in the water, not to cause additional injury through the rolling motion itself, but to use the mechanical advantage of its own mass and the drag of the water to tear, separate, and disorient simultaneously. Prey that enters the water with the crocodile rarely resurfaces. The physics of the encounter favor the crocodile so completely that size and strength of the prey become largely irrelevant once contact has been made. For early humans, this created a specific and recurring problem that had no clean solution. Water isn't optional. A hominid population living anywhere near the African waterways, lakes, and rivers where Nile crocodiles established territory had to interact with those water sources to survive. For drinking, for fishing, for crossing, for the collection of plant material that grew near river banks. Each of those interactions was, by the crocodile's logic, an invitation, not an act of aggression that could be deterred by appearing large or making noise, not a territorial defense that could be navigated by giving the animal enough space, simply an opportunity that the crocodile's nervous system was built, across 200 million years, to exploit. And here's the part that distinguishes the crocodile from most other prehistoric threats. In a way that matters, crocodiles actively return to locations where successful predation has occurred. Research on Nile crocodile behavior has consistently found that individuals associate specific sites with prey availability and prioritize those sites in their movement patterns. A waterhole where a human was successfully taken is, from the crocodile's perspective, a proven hunting location. The animal will return to it and wait with exactly the same patience it applied before the first successful attack. There is no learning of the human presence as a warning. The human presence is the signal that draws it back. This behavior pattern is not ancient speculation. It is documented in modern crocodile attacks on human communities across sub-Saharan Africa, where Nile crocodile populations remain significant, and where crocodiles that have successfully attacked humans at a given location have been documented returning to that location within days. The same mechanics that would have applied to our prehistoric ancestors apply today because the crocodile has not changed. Consider what this meant practically for early human communities near water. A single crocodile taking a member of a group at a specific waterhole didn't produce a situation where that waterhole could simply be avoided. Other water sources might be farther away, controlled by rival groups, or themselves inhabited by other crocodiles. The threat couldn't be easily displaced to a different location, the way a threat from a roaming predator might be. It was attached to a resource that couldn't be abandoned without replacing it with something equally dangerous. The specific brutality of the crocodile's attack method also created a distinct psychological dimension. A lion or leopard attack, while catastrophic, leaves a body. A crocodile attack frequently doesn't. The dragging of prey into the water, combined with the death roll and submersion, means that in many historical crocodile attacks, nothing recoverable remains at the attack site. For communities that depend on ritual and cultural responses to death, the complete disappearance of a group member would have carried a different psychological weight than a visible death, a kind of finality without resolution that couldn't be processed to the same frameworks available for other kinds of loss. The fossil record, while understandably incomplete, does contain evidence of crocodile predation on hominids. Specimens including early Homo remains found at sites near ancient lake shores and river systems in East Africa bear bite marks and scoring patterns consistent with large crocodilian jaws, and in several cases, the skeletal elements present suggest the body was only partially recovered, consistent with what crocodile predation typically leaves behind. These marks place large crocodilians in direct, documented predatory contact with some of the earliest members of the human lineage, millions of years before the short-faced bear or the saber-toothed cat entered the picture. What makes the crocodile singular among the prehistoric predators that shape human evolution isn't its size, its speed, or even its bite force, although all three are exceptional. It's the combination of these factors with a hunting strategy that is specifically, structurally optimized to exploit the behavior of prey animals near water, behavior that early humans could not change without threatening their own survival. The crocodile didn't need to hunt humans across open ground. It didn't need to compete with other large predators for the same prey. It simply needed to be patient at the waterline, and patience is perhaps the one attribute the crocodile possesses in the most extraordinary abundance of any animal in evolutionary history. The Nile crocodile alive today is not a diminished version of its prehistoric ancestor. It is, for all practical purposes, the same animal, the same design, the same hunting strategy, the same indifference to what it targets. It survived the extinction events that killed the short-faced bear, the saber-toothed cat, the mammoth, and the American lion, not by adapting dramatically, but by being so comprehensively suited to a strategy that worked regardless of what other animals were doing around it. It was here before us. It is here alongside us now. And the communities living near its territory today navigate a risk calculation not meaningfully different from the one our earliest ancestors faced on the same shorelines, in roughly the same way, carefully, with an awareness that the water conceals something that has been waiting patiently for 200 million years and has no particular interest in stopping. Have a happy day.